I'm here waiting for anyone showing up.
I'm here waiting
That was an interesting DD bit. So I'm just going to be waiting. This was a test to figure out what I need to learn. I need to practice more because it's one of those things that I got to get comfortable with. Being able to do the live and how all the things work and the settings of things, because they don't work like that you would think they work. They're not like you tap on this and then it does something and you go, okay, great. No, you tap on something and it's set for how YouTube does things because they think you're going to do things in the way that you're going to do it, and that doesn't apply to me, so I have to go through and change everything in the setup of things. So I just grabbed some plates to be able to work on if anybody wanted to see anything specific. This is the previous one of the, let's see if we can move a little closer to the lighting, because lighting is important. And if I don't have it situated just right, y'all can't see. And yeah, I gotta fix. I have some fixes, but it's a matter of being able to make the fixes work. So this is like the previous month's MXM, one of the ones we had. This is one of the French plates I have handy. This is one of the plates I used earlier. I didn't clean off. That was a couple hours ago. I have swirlies. I have the block. I have the surprising plate of Midnight Ball that was super popular of the videos of those who watch my videos. I did 4 videos, and that's like the one I thought was just would get mildly interest in. This is the other one that goes with the plate. I think that was last month or the month before, I forget which. But yeah, the Midnight Ball one, I thought, oh, people will be interested in it. Okay, great. It was like the number 1 of the 4 most recent plates that I did, not including the subscription boxes and other lives and things. But it's got like a boatload of views that just, it surprised me because I didn't think that anybody would be really that interested. The other ones I thought people would be interested in, like the dragon one and the lightning one and the stars. The stars got the second amount of interest, which was hysterical. Did somebody come in? Hi, Spyro. You can be an unofficial mod. We'll see how things go. If you want to follow my lives and help me out in the chats, that would be great for starting off, and then we'll see how it goes. And then I have another Frenchie and another Frenchie, because they were just, I grabbed a stack to see what I got, and then I think these are the most recent ones. Do you know about nail stamping? Have you done nail stamping? Do you know anything? Oh, okay, you'll be right back. I'm just talking to no one because, that's what we do when we go live. We talk to no one and everyone specifically. Okay, you're back. So, my Spyro, did I say your name correctly? Spyro, Spiro, Spiro. Which way am I? Which way? Because, names matter. Names are important. I wanna get it. Okay, Spyro. Good. I usually do get people's names or pronunciations of things on the first try or the second try. Um, just because wordology is important. So my question to you is, have you seen nail stamping? Have you done nail stamping? Do you know anything about the nail art of creativity of the stamping items? Do I need to? You do. So you know about it, or do you know of it, or have you done it? Or do I need to share and explain what it is I do? Okay, I will explain from the beginning all the details because details matter and it all kind of goes together. So there was this company many years ago. I want to say like 7 or 8, give or take. And this company that was called Bundle Monster was selling various things over the internet. And they noticed that in their sales, they were getting the majority of their sales were coming from nail art supplies. So they took a moment to rebrand and they are now called Maniology. And Maniology, see, there's their name. They now have their own website at maniology.com and they sell all kinds of goodies to do your own nails and to create art with them. So they have these plates and they have these polish. And this is considered stamping polish because stamping polish works differently than traditional polish. You can stamp on these plates using all kinds of polish, but the results you get are going to be different based on the type of polish that you're using. So there's gels and jellies and acrylics and traditional regular polish you buy at the drugstore versus what is considered to be an actual stamping polish. And you take that, and I'll show you a quick example. So this is a swirly plate I love. So you see the different images. We'll turn the light on for just a little bit. It wears out my battery and I can't stay on very long with the light on, but for demonstration purposes. So you will take the image that you want. This is a swatching nail. They come in all kinds of sizes. And then you will take your polish. This is etched in metal. The etching in the grooves in the metal is the design you're going to get. So you apply the polish, and this is, with this brand, it's a quick maneuver. There are other polishes out there that work differently. So you use the scraping card that you scrape off the extra across the top. This squishy jelly picker-upper called a stamper goes into the grooves, picks up what you need to pick up. And then you take that, I'm going to need to get that off. And this it might be taking too long. I'm not going to get a good clean pickup. Then you take that, align it to where you want it to go on your nail, and voila, you have nail art on your fingers. And for some people, this can take a long time. You can get really zen and involved in self-care. You can do things absolutely super quick, like the French tips. You've heard of the French tip style where you have the I know it's cool. And I'm going to tell you, there's so many rabbit holes with this. The coolness of how this works goes off into so many layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. You can get deep dived into this that it's just mind blowing. So these ones are what they call French tips in the designs, and you use the French tip, the traditional one, where the back is pink or the base is pink, and then you have the white over the top. These ones you can use in whatever colors you want, and you get the different designs that go off in the French tip. So let me grab, we're coming up into spring. So I'm going to grab this one. I don't know if you can tell, but this one right here has a bunny. Actually, 2 of them. So if I were to go and do this, same way, we're going to get the bunny. And don't mind what I'm doing. A lot of people are like, how do you do that? I've been doing this for a lot of years. I mean, no joke. A lot of years. And a lot of people are like, but I can't get it so good. Yeah, well, it just takes practice. Practice. Oh, I'm getting confused. Where I'm going to stick this. How I'm going to stick this. I didn't want to waste the stamp because I went over the other one. It's not really a waste, but I just wanted to kind of show. So you get the image there with this one. Trying to get it to focus. That's a flower. I didn't line this up properly, but there's the bunny over the swirl. And I've been doing this enough years that I've got enough skill level. And for the company, I'm also an ambassador. So when they do they have been since the pandemic, they've been doing a weekly live video. But the two ladies who are nail educators and nail techs, and by far have more experience because they work with this stuff on a daily basis. I play. This is at my enjoyment level of things. So they have with their jobs, which is to implement designs, they working on the artwork, and the projects they're working like to create these plates, they work on like a year in advance. So they have a lot of work with influence and other things that are going on and designs and the whole process of how these things get put together, and then there's the shipping from the suppliers and creating the polish, because they actually mix the colors to get the shades that you get. They have a monthly subscription plan where you can get just the 2 plates, and the entire subscription both of them comes with a free gift. So you can get just the plates and the free gift, or you can get the other subscription that is the 2 plates. You get 2 new polishes that are going to come out early, and so those who have the subscription get them to try them out first, and then they're made available on the website later. And like this current month, this is the gift we got, which is a very soft, very luxurious, oh my God, it gives you goosebumps. It is so silky in how it feels. And it's a brush that after you file your nails, after you use the chrome powders or other type of things, you can dust it off, and it works really well. I mean, really, it is just the nicest thing. And this is the gift that's included. And for the price of the box, the express kit, which is just the plates and the gift, is, I want to say $22 plus tax if you live in an area where you would have to pay tax. So it's a couple bucks more than that. The full box for the 2 plates, the 2 bottles of polish, and the free gift is $30. So it's a better deal because most of the plates are around, all the items are about $8 a piece. So you're almost getting like a free bottle of polish. It's so worth it. And this I could sit and do for hours, but you kind of got to take a break and open a window, because otherwise you're breathing in paint, polish, and you can get a little high. Happy, HIGH, not doing anything bad, but, so. But the ladies that do this have to be doing their job, and they've got a whole lot of things going on. And I know that I have been doing my channel for quite some time now. Just the fact that you have to get everything situated and prep everything to be able to do an unboxing, to then come back and do content and show how to use the items, how I interpreted using the items, how the items, work for me based on the shade or the color, my opinions. There's a whole lot of that goes into that, in addition to, on top of that, figuring out the YouTube world of things. How do you upload? How do you do all these other things going on? It's a lot of energy that just goes into one video. And for these ladies to not only have to do their job, but then have to come up with this whole other creative process that takes a couple of hours to implement on a weekly basis can be a bit daunting. And after a number of years, like I said, they started doing this in 2020 during the pandemic. I think it's weighing on them to be able to keep up with everything, and they've decided to cut back. So the community of people that found Maniology, that were coming to their videos, even just to watch, whether they had the products or not, have formed a bond. And I know I experienced that there were YouTube creators out there that were that had their channel. They were doing things on a weekly basis. They would have content that we could come and participate in the chat. People bonded. People recognized names. You got familiar with each other, and then after the pandemic, they went back to their real life, and it's kind of a loss, and it's an emotional hurt that you kind of go, I miss that, and I know how that feels. So I have a channel, I have the opportunity, I have the time, I have the availability. So I'm trying to work in to be doing my own lives so that other people who used to go to the Maniology ones, and there's no more Maniology meetings, they can come here. And I will try to do the education of stuff. I've already been trying to figure out how to share more things on my channel of the styles and the creativity and the what's coming up from, you know, trends and things. I'm already have been researching those things for the last couple of years anyway. And I just thought, hey, you know, I'll just open this up to a live that we can go talk about new things. We can talk about things we find on Maniology and other places. We can talk about life events and, you know, who we are as people. We're not bound by a company of protocols of things. We're just bound by my channel to, you know, be kind. And that's kind of where we are. And I'm still getting comfortable with the backside of the settings, because I can't figure out some of the things in YouTube that I, you know, see that other people are able to do. And I'm kind of going, hey, how can I make that work? So I'm trying the testing of the things. And that's what today is about. It's just me doing what the tools in the back office allow and figuring out what doesn't work. So that's kind of where we are. Still want to be a mod. Still want to jump into the rabbit hole of the cuckoo-ness, because there's doing the item that's on the plate, and there's doing one image, and then there's doing, like, you have a stack of these and you can do multiple images and layering and techniques. And then you get into that there's glitter and powders, and my picture is yeah, you don't know, it's a lot, I know. So think about it, let me know, leave it in the comments after you think about it. You can come back to this if, you know, when it shows up on YouTube as a replay. Make your decision carefully. I'm looking that I want to, because here's what the company said, is that they're going to do going from being weekly every week, and then they do an unboxing, because each month for the subscription we get a new theme. So they do an unboxing to go, here's what's going to be in the box next month, and you have time to be able to skip or sign up. And so they would do basically 4 to 5 weekly videos, depending on the weeks in the month. Then they would do the additional theme unboxing. So you're looking at 5 to 6 videos. Now they're just going to do 2 videos a month plus the unboxing. So they're going to do a total of 3. So any week that they do not do a live on their channel, I will be available that week to do my live in place of. And then I'm looking at being regular on Thursdays to be to have my channel have its own live on Thursday afternoons as well, because theirs is on Tuesday. Mine's going to be, I think, on Thursday, but I haven't decided on the day. I'm still playing around with figuring it all out, because committing to say, hey, I'm going to be there and be live means I have to park that into my schedule. And my schedule is quite free flowing, that it just on a daily basis, it can be upended. So, Kokomoa. What is, please? I saw something that said Kokomoa, and then I think it got deleted. I don't know. Okie dokie. So at this point, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to place this in my schedule, how it would be beneficial to everyone to be able to join. If I know you can't please everybody, and I'm just trying to find the good spot where a lot of people would be available to do this. Because hey, if I'm just out there doing live and talking to nobody, it's doing nobody any good. So I'm trying to be flexible with that. Oh, my dad survived the Holocaust and was from near Russia. I don't know the language. Spasibo. I know a few words that I picked up because he refused to talk about anything, didn't teach me anything. And if you don't have someone to speak with on a regular basis, the word and to be able to learn the language on my own, sometimes getting the articulation of the accents is not always on point. But here's a funny story on that. I digress. I worked in a grocery store in another city a million years ago, and I was a cashier. And the area where we were at, we would get a lot of immigrants from a lot of different nationalities. And there was this one guy that came through I would get a lot of people and they would try to talk to me in a certain way. And I'm kind of going, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. But apparently I look ethnically enough that they recognize something. Me, I just look like I'm the person next door. Nobody even, to be honest, I get a lot of people go, you look familiar. And the reason is that there's another story behind that. But basically, my baby photos resembled the Gerber baby. I am not the Gerber baby, but I had a likeness of. So, well, I'm old. I'm really old, and I've been on this planet a long time, a million years ago. It feels like it because it had to have been more than 15 years ago. So it's just, it's history. Okay, and I'm gonna say that because I was watching something that an influencer does. She does lipsticks that are vintage, and basically said this polish came out. It's vintage. I had to go find it. And it came out like in 2000 and 2001. And everyone's going, oh my God, she said vintage. And that was only 20 years ago. 25 years ago. But still, I'm just kind of going, yeah, age is a number. And I have had conversations with people and go, yeah, my kid's 41. And they look at me, wait a minute. And all my life, I mean, even when my kid was a teenager, people would be like, you can't be old enough to have a kid like that. She okay. So at this point, still to this day, you're only 13. Sweetheart, I have a grandchild your age. So at this point, no one believes my age. They look at me and go, you can't be. I thought you were in your 30s or 40s. Yeah, no, try again. So this is why I say it feels like a million years ago. So back to the original story. I was working in a grocery store as a cashier. People would come up to me, try to talk to me in a language I didn't understand. I would get all kinds of, because we would get Hispanics, we would get Italians, we would get Germans, we would get people from the Ukraine and all different kinds of places of Europe. So this guy came in and brought his children. And the children could speak a little bit of English. They were like in the process of, you could tell they were learning English. So the older one who spoke better basically said, explaining to me that the dad did not understand and what did they need to do to be able to pay for the groceries. So I went through the process and she translated. And then the next time the dad came through, he would come to my lane and then went through the process and didn't say anything, didn't smile. And I'm like, okay. But the child told me where they were from. So I went and looked up the language and I was looking up different words, how to communicate with all the people that were coming into my register. So after about 2 months, I'm thinking I was pretty proud of myself. And I said to the guy what I thought I understood as far as the language of how to say hello and are you having a nice day and thank you. After he gets done, he puts his groceries bags in the shopping cart and he says to me, "You accent good." So I try to learn language, but again, I say that was a long time ago, and because I'm not doing that anymore, I could not stumble through my way. I've been trying to learn Spanish for over 50 years. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that don't speak English, only speak Spanish, and sometimes you have to communicate. And man, I'm telling you, Google Translate. So I would love to be able to learn Russian and other European languages, but I don't have a sparring partner to be able to talk with enough to be able to learn. So yeah, I'd like to learn Polish. I'd like to learn Czech. I'd like to learn Italian and Spanish and the Hispanics better. Because I know that there's a lot of different regions that all speak a different form of Spanish. Or a dialect of Spanish. I would like to, what are the other ones? There's a bunch of, French. I know a tidbit of these things and I understand them because I've been trying to learn them for so long. I understand bits and pieces and I can get the gist of things, but at the same time, I have difficulty responding and I'm just trying to put the words in to make it all make sense. Hey, we're a melting pot. We're a world of people. We are connected now by the internet in so many different ways that we have to find a way to get along, or we're gonna be in a very sad place. I like this one. I think this one, yeah, this one was one of the ones of the subscriptions. This one actually sold out. They didn't have any extras at the end. This one was so popular. It was gone and people were so sad. There are a lot of people going, I want it and I can't find it. There's another one that came with it, but this one is. Yes, from what I understand, in learning English for those who do not learn English as their primary language, if they do not have bilingual parents that kind of help them along the way, learning English as another language speaker, learning English is hard because, for example, in a lot of other places, you have the word love that goes to your parent love, your significant other love, your friends that you love, the things that you love doing, all of those words that you love something. The word love stays the same. The context and understanding what you're talking about of the person, place, or thing that you love is what changes the understanding of what you're talking about that you love. In English, we have 900 ways of saying it. And it just, yeah, I can understand. Taking 6 years, that's good. That's really good. Because, yeah, English from the original British English, Middle English, is nothing like what we use today. And no one hardly even knows the significance of what Middle English sounds like or should be. I play around with reading about it because I find it interesting. But the translation of how things became the King's English and how it became broader spoke, like in the places that were colonized, offset the language. And then as it was brought to the colonies here in the United States, it was altered again because of all the people coming from all the other places influence the language and the way things. So English is not of its own. It's kind of a conversion, a mashup of a boatload of other languages. And then it gets confusing because you don't know if you're talking about Latin Greek or some other influence of German, Polish, Italian, Spanish, and the European nations abroad. It just, you got to go. Well, thank you for joining in. Think about, if you still want to be a moderator, you're a bit young, and I know it's a huge commitment. So, I'll see you later. Thank you. I appreciate you. So yeah, I just, for my regular people on the replay and the videos, I was going to share about doing the glitter and the this new one that I got, and this has the stopper. The reason I got it is because it has this little protective piece, and then you pull up on this little extra part here that has this little plug-in so that you're supposed to be able to shake it out and not have it spill. Well, I guess the way I pulled up on it, I did not do it gently. That's why I was holding this part down when you pulled up. But apparently I pulled it up enough just using that thing, and this whole stopper thinger came out. So the beginning picture that you saw, for the I hope you saw that somewhere along the line, it was on YouTube. It's supposed to be the picture for this pit thing. But a lot of times I notice that if I put in a picture for the, for what the video is supposed to be about, YouTube ignores it and just puts in, the caption of whatever they want for the part of the video for where they want. But basically that whole thing came out, and next thing I know, I had glitter everywhere. And because I had been working on doing nails, I had been working on doing, where was it? I had been working on doing some foil, and I had been working on doing some of the glitter on the other things. So my fingers were kind of sticky with polish, and the next thing I know, I got polish on my hands. Because then I'm in the middle of, I dropped the glitter. I had piles of it everywhere, and I was trying to go, oh, what do I do? And I had an open thing of polish, and I had touched it on my hands because I was in the middle of making a mess like I usually do as I'm trying to create things and play with stuff. And next thing I know, it was stuck to my hands in layers that took me hours to get off. And another couple hours to clean up all the glitter, and I still have not gotten it because it's still all over my tray. It's still where I touch things, and I still get it all over me, as you can see. I don't know if you can see, but I got glitter shimmer everywhere. So I went chrome as much as I possibly could to use it up. So we'll be chrome for the next couple of days. And that was what I wanted to share. And see if anybody showed up, if I put messages out, if anybody was here just to come and chat. And I'm alone in my video. Yeah, I only put it out a couple hours notice. So if you watch this one to the end, I'm going to do more lives practicing with the scheduling of the events around things. So I'll probably, this is Sunday, I'll do one tomorrow, probably early in the morning or late in the afternoon. I have to go check what scheduling options I have. And I'll do another one every day this week to practice, because I gotta get comfortable with the settings, because again, I have to grab it in the places it needs me to grab it, where in the settings that before you hit go live, you have all the pieces, because otherwise I'm going live and I can't change any of the settings after the fact, and it's set where my video will not be seen by anybody. So nobody gets the notification that I'm going live, because I'm not technically live. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So if anybody out there, I mean, I've gone into the settings where it says unlisted or public, and I click on the public. And then when I go to the screen, it changes everything from where I have the settings to be in this view to profile view. I don't want to do the selfie. I want it to be in this view so you can see me demo. And then I got to go through and tell it to be live again. It goes back to being unlisted instead of being public. So there's all these buttons that are moving that even though I select the buttons, it still wants to change it back to whatever. I don't have those settings to be that way as far as I can tell in my channel, but it sets it back to that. And I'm scrambling as I'm trying to, hit the button that says go live so that it works the way we're intending it to be. But there you go. I haven't figured out what I'm doing wrong. Either that or that's just what everybody else has to do. And I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't know. I don't know what to say because I don't understand. And unfortunately, it's not like there's a help desk where you can call and ask. If you search for it, I never find the answer in the frequently asked questions. My question is never there because nobody else ever has the same issue that I do. And I can never get a hold of a live person to go, okay, this is what the problem is. And oh yeah, by the way, couple of things. Today is, before I go, announcements, is that today is I want to say the 6th. Did I get it right? Come on. Yes, today is Sunday the 6th. It is currently 5 p.m. Eastern time for me. And at this point, Maniology has a 50% off sale. So go take advantage of the sale if you can. I don't know when it's going to end. I haven't seen any details on that. But you can email support at maniology.com and they'll let you know what the timeline on that is. The other thing I saw has nothing to do with nails and Maniology. It has to do with me being irritated. And I share my irritations. Because I think certain ones matter. The thing is, I know all businesses out there are trying to stay relevant. I know they're all trying to do what they need to do. McDonald's as a corporation needs to step up and they need to stop limiting labor. I'm telling you that the local restaurants are operating with such a bare crew. It's inhuman. In such awful conditions. OMG. These companies out there that want humans to either be as fast as robots or to do things, and Amazon's another one, where you have to have these people pick these orders and get these shipments out in such a way they don't have enough staff, and they gotta, twist themselves and risk their personhood from injuries and other things to get these orders packed and ready to go. And then, yes, I'm angry at the inhumanity of things. These companies make more money than God. They don't pay taxes. And they can afford to hire more people and pay people better. And that's just my 2 cents on that. But the latest irritation is that Subway, I saw, and I don't frequent Subway very often. I never really liked their filling meats. They always tasted like leftovers from 3 days ago, and it had a foul something going on. They have improved in some of their things, but sometimes they're an only option because the one closest to us is open until 2, and, well, Hubster gets home late sometimes. So the thing is that I have the app for that purpose, and I noticed that I got a notification they have a new preliminary limited time option to get either chicken or steak Doritos covered with cheese sauce and cheese, tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos, and their chipotle sauce. And at this point, it's $5 for their foot-long order of nachos. I saved the container. I'll show it to you on another video. But it's literally the same size. So if you have ever gotten their foot-long cookie or brownie or dessert thing that they have, it's the exact same size. And the box that it came in wasn't even filled at all. There was so many gaps. It was barely anything in there. For $5, I could go get something way better at other places and have more food, and it costs less money. There was barely any cheese, barely any of the cheese sauce. There was barely any meat on it. There was enough tomatoes, barely any onions. I'm not happy with the $10 that it cost me, and then I needed to give them a tip, and I still got nothing for my money. And the only reason I wanted to try this out is because apparently they're having an upcoming special this week that if you buy a foot long, you get the nachos for free. And even just buying the nachos, it was like, okay, that's not, I wanted to know that what I got, not enough of incentive for me to go buy a sandwich for $15 to get something that's not worth the $5 that they're charging for. I'm not happy. Grandma's being the Misery Loves Company Club moment. Yeah. You mess with my money, I'm not going to be happy. And if you mess with people, I'm definitely not going to be happy. So I'm sharing. Based on your experience in your area, you might get a different staff. You might get a different company, different independent person that has a limit on. It might not be the employees. It could be the employees. The employees could be just being chintzy. But the fact that they're being chintzy is probably more likely related to the fact that their staff has been instructed to be chintzy, and I don't like it. Because, to be honest, and I'm going to say this, every company, every business, every person who has their own business, everything you do for the company, and I used to be in the tax, financial, and I've had confirmation from other people. I know what I speak of this. Everything that you do for your company is a deduction. It's not a write-off. Please stop using that term. It's incorrect. But all the items that you get, because Maniology people do not make these. They buy them. They have with another company that creates these, and the labor that manufacture these, and Maniology buys them custom made for them. Maniology creates the color shading, and they work with a company that creates the polish. Maniology doesn't stand in their offices mixing polish. They partner with another company that makes them for them, bottles it up, and ships it to them. So as an example, and I'm not picking on Maniology, I'm just using it as an example because, hey, I'm all talking about Maniology. So they, as a Maniology, have a staff, and they've said they've got, I want to say they said it was 13 or 14 people. So they have less than 20 employees that work for them. All of the things that Maniology offers and everything that they do is partner with another company, business to business, that they are buying custom items, and they're paying for that company to create these items for them and then get them shipped in. So the items that Maniology buys at a wholesale, they get a deduction. That goes off when on their taxes, they get to include everything that they have paid to get the items that they sell. These stampers and the people that create those, that's a deduction. The people that work for them and get paid by them to work in their company and do the different jobs, that employee salary is deducted, even including if, and as a good business sense, the CEO or the owners, Ren and his wife Carol, they probably pay themselves as employees because they work for the company, and that's all deductible. Everything. If for whatever reason they have to all work late and do something because there's some event that happened and it's for the convenience of the business, if they go, hey, we're going to order in so that y'all can stay and continue working on this project because there's a deadline, they can deduct it. So there is nothing that the business pays that is not deductible. The health insurance, the benefits, everything that they pay out for every company is all deductible, including for like, Coca-Cola and all these other companies that make billions of dollars, and their CEO, uh, what's his name? Jamie Dimon of Chase Bank, who gets paid enough, his yearly salary is enough to be multiple millions of dollars a month. All of that is deducted by the company. So they take basic math, they take sales, that is profit. Okay, well, sales in general, we'll start over. They take all sales of income, they take all expenses as business expenses, and the difference is what they owe taxes on. That's profit. They pay taxes on their profit that is over and above. So if they have more business expenses, they pay less in taxes because you have less profit. It's, because taxes is on a chart based on $0 to $1,000 from 1,001, and it just goes up to the point, and you reach a certain level. Well, you've made more money than they can tax you for. Okay, and yet you have Amazon and Netflix and a boatload of other companies who pay zero in taxes because all of their money goes to business expenses. And they have deducted down their profit because, if I'm not mistaken, what they owe to the shareholders is also deductible. But they have deducted down to the point where they are at, on the tax return, they owe zero in taxes. And the rest of us are paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the little pennies that we make. The system is rigged against us. The system is rigged that the IRS originally wanted more people to open their own business. That commerce, that the term just escaped me. I have these moments where I'm knee deep in a thought and the word I want to use. What most people think we do. We're not socialistic. The word will come to me. I will figure it out. Help, please. Why did this word go bye-bye? This gives you moments. You get old enough and supply and demand. I'll get there. And I know you are going to be watching this at the end, screaming the word. Okay, I may not look old. I may not sound old, but my brain is. Oh, okay, let me talk this out. I know you're going to know what it is. I'm just going to go for it. So basically, it used to be we had a barter system where the guy that made the bread and the guy that did the shoes, you would barter in exchange of ingredients, but and it's why we went to using money, because money is more convenient to be able to buy things. But if you have competition, what's the word? It'll come to me when I'm done. I'll end off with it. It's kind of like, the phrase is on the tip of my tongue, and then when you're done and no longer talking with that person, then you remember it, like in the middle of your sleep. Play quiet. Play with your toys quiet. She's over here. Mama, you're not paying attention to me. But anyway, the United States went into that this was what we were, and then it changed, and now businesses are more out to, they're no longer for the same. I will come back to this. But it's going to bug me. It's one of those things that it bugs when you can't remember the word. This is not early dementia. We're just tired. Drink some coffee. Oh yeah, there's a new flavor out there. It's a cherry flavor, almond cherry. Makes your coffee taste so good. Cold. I'm drinking it cold. Hello, did somebody show up? Did somebody come visit in my channel? Are you there watching the grandma be cuckoo crazy and saying words? Okay, so where was I? I have now completely lost my train of thought. I'm trying to be. Thank you for that. Thank you for insulting Mama. No, quiet. You're gonna hurt everybody's ears. You're gonna be barking so loud. Do I need to? No, not now. Behave. Be a good girl. Be quiet. Mama's live. No, Mama's live. Shh. So as far as the competition goes, business to business are no longer competitive because it's reached the point where they have taken the employees out, and businesses are more now appealing to shareholders, stockholders, and of the like, and making all these millions of dollars. There's no longer taking care of the people. And if you go follow any place on the internet, you can find there are people who explain the disparities where interest and other expenses, inflation, and inflation is a myth, have exploded, but wages did not continue to climb with everything else. Inflation, and I'm going to put it to this way, is that if someone pays an employee or an employer hires an employee and pays them a wage, and then the expenses that they have to pay. I understand that for smaller business, this is a cash flow thing where it does have a significant detriment to the smaller business people who are working on inventory going in and out, and their ability to get supplies and the things that they have to pay for on a day-to-day basis. But these bigger corporations that have these slush funds, that have so many deductions that they're able to claim, that because they are a proven business that's been around for a while, they have other creditors and deals with other banks where they can get fundage to be able to do the things that they need to do to stay in business. They can get the things and pay the people that they need to pay. And then at the end of the year, when they do their taxes, they get again, no taxes. They get all this money coming back to them that they get to keep. Whereas the smaller business person has to work harder to be able to get all that stuff to work for them. Isn't kind of the same thing. But if you pay people better because you're a corporation and you can afford to pay people better, then why are they taking advantage of the workforce? Where, like I said, when I worked in the workforce in a lot of jobs, especially those that were of the fast food nature, as a manager, I had 25 people working during the day to handle lunch or dinner. And at the same, and yeah, I had less people at dinner than I did at lunch because we were not only with the public, but we were near a private business sector section. So we had the public on one side that would come from one part of the town. On the other side was all the business people that would come in for their lunch. And then we were strategically the next exit from venues of entertainment. So when those entertainment events ended, then we would get inundated because we were one of the few, we were the first exit that had food, and we were of that of the locations at that exit, we were the ones that were the only one that was still open. So we'd get hammered. But at the same time, I noticed that when I left that industry and went to a different one to work where I was, utilizing the things that I wanted to do that I had trained for, the staffing of these places that I would go in to grab my own lunch, the people was less and less, and we get smaller and smaller. And this is where I get irritated, and I don't want to fight for the underdog, because you as an employee are now expected to do the job of 5 people, and then you get yelled at because you can't measure up and can't get it all done. And then the night crew and the day crew are mad at each other because they're both busy and they don't do things to stock up to help the next shift. So now you got to work 3 times harder doing the job of 5 people. It irritates me. So that's why I'm talking about these nachos in partnership with Doritos. It's supposed to be a big deal. I don't necessarily fault the employees or the location of the store, because it's probably an independent store and they're probably trying to keep, expenses down. But at the same time, this is being advertised, and in the picture you get in their national app does not anywhere near, it was overflowing in the picture, and what we got was not, maybe a third full. Like I said, I could have, for the price, bought an entire bag of the large size of Doritos. I could have, for $5 at the grocery store, I could probably get 3 bags of Doritos. So yeah, this is where my ire is coming out at this. And I know it has nothing to do with nails, but I'm live. I'm talking to nobody. At some point, somebody's going to watch this and see this. Hopefully you are well informed. Call Subway, because this is a limited time. So I'm sure they're going to gauge how well this works as to whether or not it becomes a bigger thing. Well, I'm sorry, I don't want it to be a foot long, because your foot long is not enough to fill the container. And they have probably bought enough to see about whether or not their container. Well, if you're doing a foot long, no, it needs to be, no. A foot long is too small. For charging $5 to get toppings on it, I can go to any of the fast food chains out there and get a much larger size for less money. Under $4, you can go to, for Taco Bell, and you can get a Nachos Bel Grande and have sour cream and beans along with your chosen meat, and your jalapenos and your tomatoes and your onions and other toppings that you can add to it, and it still be less than $5, and you can get a way bigger size in comparison. So Subway, this is a fail. And I have now been here an hour, so I'm going to say goodnight. Please be kind. Do not let those who are part of the Misery Loves Company Club, even me, when I'm in my moments of misery, do not let us recruit you. I know everyone is doing their best to be kind in these trying times. And be safe out there. I love you and appreciate all of you. And I will see you soon. Bye.